buenas, buenas. It is time to rise and time to shine. It is 7:42 in the morning here on Thursday. Probably going to be one of the busier Thursdays that we've seen in some time. And there's so many reasons for it. Not just what we got going on right now, but what we've got going on later today and tonight. Going to be busy. Coming off the heels of a super late night. That's right, just about 11 o'clock when we left the ballpark last night. No kidding. It was the late one. And now it's time for our morning show. We got, man, the stuff that we got to talk about this morning is going to be off the charts. Everything that's happening. The government, the federal government is getting ready for a big reduction. There's a big reduction. It's happening. I'm talking to all the rest people. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Tobot. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Anthony, thank you for tuning in. Great to see you again today. Hey, I want to say that, and good morning to you, Ann. Where are the cat gifts? Where are they? I don't see any cats. I haven't seen any cats from you for a while. All right, well, hold on. I got to get going on a couple of things here, but I want to get started with some of the stuff that we've got. I got a million things to get to today, but I want to get our foreign correspondent on the line with us this morning, and we're getting him ringed up right now. I know he's ready to go. He's definitely waiting for us. Good morning, Landon. Can you hear us?
I'm ready. Good morning, Brad, and good morning, CNMI.
All right. Now, nobody can see you yet, but I'm about to fix that. I'm going to change that. I can see you, though. And I'm like,
all right.
This is vastly different than the image that you sent us that we had with you last time. Hold on. Where is it? How come I can't see you? Hold on. I can actually see you just fine on my screen. I just need to open up a different window. For some reason, I'm not getting the Landon that everybody really wants to see. Hold on, give me a quick second here. We're gonna figure this thing out because
it's quite an incredible view out here behind me too. So I hope you get that up.
I'm about to. I'm doing it a different way. And now I got you. Everybody can see you for sure. We could see that hat. And by the way, I saw your post of where you guys were at Krispy Kreme, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, man. You just got a seagull going past you. Holy cow. Landon, where in the world are you?
This is the Harbor of Hospitality in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. This is my hometown where I grew up, where I went to school. And then I catapulted to college in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then landed in the Pacific. So I am here for just 2 days, visiting Elizabeth City, visiting family in a whirlwind tour. But let me tell you what, it is a completely different picture out here because just a week ago, we had about a foot of snow on the ground. It was an incredible snowstorm, probably the most snow that's been on the ground in Elizabeth City in my lifetime. And I missed it by 5 days.
Oh, my gosh. And another bird went by. I wonder if it's the same bird.
Unfortunately. You know, we got seagulls all around here. This is like a beautiful riverfront. This is the Pasquotank River. We are in Elizabeth City of Pasquotank County. And so the Dismal Swamp Canal, if you're familiar with the this region of the world, George Washington was big in this region back in his lifetime. This is where we had the Dismal Swamp Canal. And this was the intercoastal waterway. So boats would travel up and down the Atlantic coast, inland, away from the open waters of the Atlantic, and coming through the Pasquotank River, and then going on up into Virginia, and then all the way up to the coast. So this is a very major seaport back in the 1920s, 1930s, and 40s. But since they have a new canal farther to the east and a little bit wider for more traffic, things have kind of quieted down into Elizabeth City. But let me turn the camera around, and I'll show you the hometown area. Oops, that is not the button I wanted. There we go. So this is Elizabeth City.
Wow.
Beautiful small town USA. That was our high rise. That's the Virginia Dare Tower. That was built around the era of the Empire State Building, or I think around the late 1920s. Beautiful, grand, historic looking vintage hotel. Now it's a senior center, a senior home for folks to live in apartments. But this is the Harbor Hospitality. We have boats come up here. That is the Camden Causeway Bridge over there in the distance that goes into the Camden County to our east. And this is looking all the way down. If you go all the way down the river, you get to the Albemarle Sound, and then you can continue on toward the Currituck Sounds and get to the Outer Banks and then on into the Atlantic. But Beautiful little city. It's home.
Wow, it is gorgeous over there. I mean, I love what they've done with the waterway right there. It's easily accessible for folks. And, this might not be a big deal because you live in Guam, but from here, being able to see all those different cars that you can get in the mainland that people do not drive out here is still interesting for me to see.
Yeah, we have all kinds of cars over here, and actually downtown was kind of suffering like a lot of city centers were doing around the 90s and the 80s. They're kind of decaying, businesses moving out to suburbs and malls, but they're doing a great job revamping downtown Elizabeth City. So it's a very nice downtown district to come out and visit for arts, crafts, foods, all kinds of drinks, especially boutique shops. So it's really uh, rebounding nicely over the last 20 years.
Wow, it looks great. I wish we could be there and on a boat, maybe with a fishing pole,
Yes.
maybe with some kind of a beverage. It just seems like a great, relaxing place to be.
Yeah, and if you go down the river and then take a right, you'll get to the U.S. Coast Guard Air Station. So a lot of people that are in the Mariana Islands that are with the Coast Guard, some of them may have been through Elizabeth City, and some of the folks in the Coast Guard here in Elizabeth City might end up in Guam and the Mariana Islands someday. So there's a lot of, for a small town, there's a lot of national and international reach.
No kidding. Hey, no kidding. Speaking of Coast Guard in hometowns, the guy who runs our Coast Guard here in Saipan, his previous duty station was in my hometown in Buffalo, New York. So they definitely do get out here from the East Coast, no doubt about it.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
yeah, we're a very connected city.
you were I'm guessing you didn't bring that shirt, or you did bring that shirt with you over there from Guam.
It was my one nice shirt on this trip.
And you got it. But I mean, in this kind of weather, I was looking around. I was trying to see what the weather's like for everybody else who's out there, because what's it at right now? And are other people enjoying this after having a cold storm? This has to be great for them.
Yeah, we had so much winter weather in this region the last couple of months, and so there's from talking to people in Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina, there's been a whole lot more snow this year than the last year. That's probably that climate connection to the La Nina pattern, and so it tends to be a little bit wetter, a little bit cooler in this region. So it really produced this year, and so a foot of snow last week. I was driving through a lot of it in Kentucky, and it was just don't drive in snow. It's dangerous. As a meteorological junkie that I am, I enjoyed it, but it's very dangerous. And you're going about 25 miles per hour down the open interstate. But it's been beautiful today. It got up close into mid 60s. So for us in the islands, that's cold. But here, where it's been in the teens and 20s and 30s for several weeks, that was beautiful weather. If I had more time here, I would probably have gone to the Outer Banks for a day trip. But today, it's much sunnier. It's drier, but there's a little bit of a wind chill out here off the river. So my fingers are like getting a little bit cold and numb right now, even though I'm wearing short sleeves. But that sun is nice. It's going to be warmer tomorrow. Then we're going to have another cool down. But let's talk about the weather in the Mariana Islands. It's definitely been windy. Would you agree?
Yes, it has been very windy.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had it's a never-ending story for January, February, and March. It's been windy over there. We have that shear line, so you notice all the clouds and the spotty showers. Usually not too heavy of a shower, but sometimes you get a heavy downpour and it just moves right on by with those gusty winds. That is going to be the theme for the next couple days. We're going to have a little uptick in showers around Friday night, as that shear line, which sits just south of Guam, that's going to be lifting back northward over the islands, but it's gradually weakening. But expect those breezy conditions. We had gusts across Guam and the Mariana Islands between 30 and 35 miles per hour this morning. Usually, those stronger gusts are with the showers, but sometimes the showers can be locally heavy. But mid temperatures right now, mid 70s across Guam and the Sinai. Beautiful temperatures. Again, to keep your windows open, let that air blow in as long as it's not bringing in the rain showers. Enjoy that fresh air. But seas and surf remain hazardous. So we have a high surf advisory. That's through this evening for north facing reefs of the CNMI. That's for surf of 8 to 11 feet. That's going to be coming down very gradually, but those waves are still going to be up there, and that high uh, rip current risk, that's going to persist into the weekend. So play it safe if you're going to be near the beaches or near the water. Those waves, that surf will still be cranking. Those currents will be very strong. Small craft advisory remains in effect through Saturday evening for the Mariana Islands. That's for northeast winds of 20 to 25 knots and combined seas of 8 to 12 feet. Not a good time to be out there on a boat. So if you don't have to be out there, stay in port, stay on land, and in due time things will calm down. But expect the breezy conditions to continue through the weekend with 20 to 25-mile-per-hour winds over the islands with scattered showers on Friday. But otherwise, it's going to be a mix of clouds and sun and those patchy lighter to moderate showers.
You know, it was something I haven't seen. It's the first time that I know for sure because it stood out. The terminology used for Friday, scattered showers. We get a lot of isolated showers, but we got scattered showers there.
Yes.
What's the difference between isolated showers and scattered showers?
Yeah, in the Weather Service, 10 to 20% coverage of showers, we call that isolated. But once it gets to that 30 to 50% coverage, that's what we call scattered. And so what that means, more showers, more frequent showers popping over, pushing over the islands.
Well, that's what we got on tap for tomorrow. Now, this is interesting. I wonder, is this an indication of a weather station that's down in Saipan? Because when we look at your website for today, as we do every day, we go to the National Weather Service and website. It says NA for the temperature. All the readings are down for everything. So I figure something's up at the airport station.
Yeah, that's sometimes the case. And so we have to troubleshoot and diagnose, run a diagnostic on the sensors. And sometimes it doesn't report that temperature or dew point. And so that reads as missing or NA. So our guys at the office are probably checking it out right now. We get alerts from national headquarters. They track all the information that comes into the computers. And if there's an error or a mistake or something missing, we'll get that phone call and we'll start hopping on into the equipment to figure out what's wrong. Sometimes it's a communications issue. Sometimes it's a sensor issue.
Well, who knows what's going on with that place? You got two brothers who are off island, a guy who just retired, and now that place is all falling apart. We're not getting any info.
If you like working on equipment, sensors, electronics, we have a full staff of electronic technicians that are always traveling to the CNMI or across Micronesia every quarter to work on replacing sensors, repairing sensors, because we need that information, we need that data. And so our technicians, they get to travel and see so many islands all the time.
Well, I look forward to hearing more about what they've got. They sound like they get their own spin-off series for the National Weather Service sitcom.
Yeah.
But tonight, it looks those high gusts tonight. I mean, it's a tie everything down kind of a night, right? You don't want stuff blowing around.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You don't want to have a phone on a tripod or anything it could blow over like it's about to do here. But those empty trash cans, if you have your trash can and it's out there outside and it's empty, or you have those tents, canopies, and tarps, keep those well anchored, well secured. You probably don't need to take them down because that shear line, when it passed over the last couple of days, the strongest winds are right along the shear line. So they're tapering down just a little bit. But again, when those heavier showers come, that's where those stronger wind gusts. And again, at the Guam airport, we did have a gust of about 35 miles per hour early this morning. That's the strongest wind gust I've seen over the last 24 to 36 hours. And so keep that in mind. Those heavier showers will bring in those stronger wind gusts, and that'll come ripping away your tarps if they're not well anchored and secured.
Well, and we've got the high surf advisory in effect until 5 p.m. tonight, and rip current statement till 5 p.m. tomorrow. Usually they're about the same when it comes to the dates.
That's correct. And see, that's a little bit of a technicality because the high surf advisory for north, west, and south-facing reefs, that's for surf of 9 feet and greater. But on the east-facing reefs, that's for surf of 12 feet and greater. But our high rip current risk, that's for 9 feet and greater for all reefs. And so that's where there's a little bit of discrepancy. And so we try to communicate that and explain it on our bulletins so that there's as little confusion as possible. So that's a great question. And thank you for that, asking that. So that high rip current risk, that's going to continue right on through Friday evening.
Wow, great. So do other people get this kind of international weather delivery, or is it just us? Because I got this feeling that we're special.
Oh, special. We like to chat with you.
Well, that's awesome. Hey, I know you're out there traveling and visiting family and friends and all that stuff while you're out there. And we're really thankful for you taking the time to keep us in the loop with everything that's happened weather related. Anything else new and exciting with you out there?
Yeah, nothing too new and exciting. Brandon and I, we did go to our old elementary school, PW Moore Elementary School in here in Elizabeth City. We spoke to some of our former classmates who are now teachers there at the elementary school, and we spoke to all of the school students, K through I think fifth grade now. And so we had a great time. It's supposed to be a 1 hour visit, but we were there for a little bit longer just to go to all the classes. We had a nice fire drill. I complained to the principal and the administration. I said, y'all should not have had a fire drill with weathermen on site. We should have had a tornado drill. So maybe we'll do that next time we visit.
That is awesome. That is outstanding. You know, one of the things, I visited my old elementary school when I go back, and I just remember how small it looks now compared to my vivid
Yes.
memories.
It used to be the wide hallways and the tall ceilings, and then you go in there, it's like you have to walk sideways to get to the hallways. It's crazy. It feels so compact.
That's great. When are you making your way back to Guam?
This will be my last sunset over here. Uh, I will be up in the air before the sun rises tomorrow morning. And so Brandon's going to be on one set of flights leaving around 6 a.m. I'll be on another set of flights leaving at 8 o'clock. We're going to cross paths at Narita Airport. He's going to get there before me, but I'm going to leave before him. And so then I'll get to Guam about 2 hours before him. I'll be arriving around 11 p.m. Friday night. He'll be coming in early Saturday morning. And you know, I'm probably going to be asleep when I get home. I'm not going to wake up and pick him up. He's going to have to figure it out himself.
That sounds great. All right. Well, geez, thanks again for getting us in here and making time for us. I know last week was snowy in Kentucky. This week is sunny in North Carolina. And, well, next week we'll get you hopefully sunny in Guam.
Hopefully, I will be back in my office next week.
All right, one last question. While you're out there doing this and reporting with us and everything, you getting any funny looks from people when they're going by?
Not too much, but I have a lot of people say, you don't talk like us anymore. A little bit of that island accent. So I don't have quite the North Carolina Southern accent that I grew up with.
Hey, I almost get that. So people out here, when they hear me, they're like, you don't sound like you're from Buffalo. But my wife tells me as soon as I have that conversation with folks, like with the family or anyone else out there, it comes out. It is back.
Yep, it comes right on back super fast, especially when I'm talking fast to people. It starts, the Southern slips out. It happens.
Yes, I hear it. Just a little hint. Just a little hint. Hey, we wish you all the.
What y'all doing for dinner?
Hey, we wish you all the best.
Supper. I mean, supper.
Supper. I like it. I haven't heard supper in a while. Oh my gosh, man. All right. Well, hey, safe travels on your way back. I know that there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening with planes. I know it's not going to happen with you. So safe travels. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Have a great weekend and stay safe.
You too. Take care. All right, that's our friend Landon. He's out there in North Carolina, but the weather is more important to him than his time off, him giving us a great weather update for everything that's happening. Oh, this is a story. 1 second. Oh, gosh. We're going to be talking about this next. All right, hey, I'm getting all kinds of messages about this. But funny stuff, I've got this all on tap for you guys, and we already got messages coming about it this morning, so we're going to come back to it. First thing we're going to do, though, we got to take a quick commercial and give some love to our sponsors, because without them, we can't do this, and without you, it wouldn't be fun to do any of this either. So stick around and give some love to our sponsors, and we'll be right back right after this.
Hey, I'm Coach Derek Cutting, the owner and founder of Laddie Built Fitness. So no matter who you talk to here at Laddie Built, everyone feels that they are part of a family, part of a group of like-minded people. No one feels judged. No one feels like they're being teased or picked on or looked down upon because maybe they don't know what they're doing. They could be brand new and have no idea what they're doing. They might be overweight or really skinny and feel very self-conscious about themselves. But at Laddie Built, nobody judges here. And if you ask anybody here that might be in better shape than you or even not, but has experience in the gym, they will gladly help you through a workout and teach you a few techniques that can help you. So Laddie Built organically from day one, since the boot camp era, has organically grown this foster an environment of community and being a safe place, but a strong work ethic community of people that want to get work done. All I can say is that I put my heart and soul into it from day one. I treated everyone like that at the boot camp from the very, very beginnings, and everyone at the same time would treat each other like that from the boot camp era as well. And as we grew, as we got into a brick and mortar facility, we got bigger and bigger. I feel like people definitely just take this place as a home, as like their brother and sisters are working out next to them, not their enemy or not their competitor, you know? So organically, it's just the vibe here is different. Everyone feels very, very comfortable, and I love the fact that it happened like that.
Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You already know that Paradise Dental has the most affordable coverage in the entire Marianas, and now we've got something special just for new customers. And now for a limited time, Paradise Dental is offering free gas vouchers for new signups for their coverage plan. If you sign up for a singles plan, you'll get a $10 gas voucher. If you sign up for a couples plan, that's a $15 gas voucher. And if you sign up for the whole family plan, that's a $20 gas voucher right after your first visit. So hurry down to Paradise Dental and sign up for the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage today. These gas vouchers are limited, and with smiles like these, you know they're gonna go fast. All right, good morning, Marianas, and it is 8:04 in the morning. And you're looking live at traffic on Beach Road in Olei. It's a beautiful day for driving, really. Even though the weather was a little crummy, it's not that bad at all. But it's also a good day for the news. Yeah, because there's a lot happening in the news, and I'm not kidding about that at all. I've got federal stuff to talk about, but I've got some local stuff to talk about. Before we hit that, though, let me get you the latest from the United States and around the world. From the Associated Press.
I'm Mike Hempen. Washington correspondent Sagar Magani reports on a White House visit this week by Ukraine's leader.
President Trump says his Ukrainian counterpart will visit the White House this week to sign a long-sought minerals deal.
A very big agreement.
The president said the deal will give the U.S. access to Ukraine's deposit of rare earth minerals, vital for high-tech industries. He bills it as a chance for Kyiv to pay back the U.S. for hundreds of billions in war aid under Joe Biden.
Now we're going to be getting all of that money back, plus a lot more.
Meantime, Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky says the framework of a deal's been reached, but it does not include security guarantees.
If we don't have it, nothing will work.
The president's non-committal.
I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much.
And the full deal could hinge on Friday's meeting. Sagar Magani at the White House.
The Trump administration has sent out a memo that dramatically expands the president's efforts to scale back a workforce described as an impediment to his agenda. Thousands of probationary employees already have been fired, and now the administration is turning its attention to career officials with civil service protection. The AP's Nicole Winfield reports on a slight improvement in the Pope's health.
Doctors say Pope Francis is continuing to improve slightly as he battles double pneumonia. They say his prognosis is still guarded, but blood tests are coming back showing slight improvements, and a chest CT scan showed that the infection in his lungs is taking the normal course that they expect as it's being treated.
State officials say a child who wasn't vaccinated has died in a measles outbreak in rural West Texas. It's the first U.S. death from the highly contagious disease since 2015. This is AP News. AP correspondent Julie Walker reports on two separate dramatic ice rescues in New York of a man and his horse.
Keep coming. NYPD officers had to pull a man out of the semi-frozen lake in Brooklyn's Prospect Park over the weekend by extending a ladder across it.
I got you.
The late-night rescue caught on body cam. Police say the 30-year-old had been walking on the frozen water when it gave way. Upstate in Saratoga Springs on Monday.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Sly, a horse, fell through the ice in a pond. It took police and several others to pull the 1,300-pound animal out. Not easy.
Keep going. Come on, buddy.
Again, caught on police body cam. Sly's owner, Allie Ernst, says her 3 horses always play on the pond. Julie Walker, New York.
I'm Mike Hempen, AP News.
That is why you see all those signs at pools. No horseplay. What? That is a story better suited for video than audio. But holy cow. I would just take my horse for a leisurely stroll across the old frozen pond. We done fell in. My gosh. The audio from that was hilarious. I feel bad for him, trust me, I do. But hey, welcome back, everybody. It is time for us to start getting into some of this local mess. And man, I got plenty of federal stuff about the reduction in the government because I want to review all these documents, but I want to talk about this local story that just blows me away. Remember how we did this story about the budget, the revised budget, and the little commotion about spending $250,000 in back pay for the casino commissioners. Remember that? Now the casino commissioners were supposed to get paid by the money that comes in from the casino. Fun fact, there is none. Okay, and I blame them for a big part of it. You know, not enforcing regulations early, allowing IPI to kind of just get away with murder for years. And then they rot what they sowed. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's the environment that they allowed to have happen. So somehow they're connected to folks enough that they were able to get a revision in the budget to include back pay for them. Again, the whole reason why they get paid at all is because they're supposed to get paid on the funds that are generated from the casino. And there's no casino. I mean, there just isn't. And they were showing up to meetings that only they had that weren't really noticed. And they weren't really doing anything other than, okay, that's it. We're going to sit here. And maybe in their mind, they were doing something. But the truth is, they were going through the motion and checking boxes, hoping that they were going to get back pay. Should they get paid for doing work? I think people who do work should get paid. But the whole point of having the casino commissioners is so that they can manage the casino. And they did a piss poor job of doing that. And not everybody agrees with that, especially them. They do not agree with that characterization. And people who are closely involved with them, they see it differently too. But I'm just giving you an everyman's opinion. And the everyman's opinion here in the CNMI is like, are you kidding me? Like, it's like a spelling contest where you say, hey, when you're spelling the word way, where do you put the F? The answer is there's no effing way. There's no effing way that they were doing it. And I can kind of have a little bit of sympathy for them because, if they were just regular civil service employees doing their jobs and everything like that, I'd be like, yeah, heroes and all that stuff. But they weren't even doing that. Again, they were renting a place, not even paying. They were just saying, hey, let us stay here. Instead of getting an old government building or something like that, while they were not getting money to try to take care of things, they were still extending the credit of the Commonwealth Casino Commission knowing that there was no money coming in from IPI. And they continued to do it for years. They should be held personally, not even, it's not normal to do that as a personal accountability thing, but they should be held personally accountable to pay for those bills that they promised for people when they knew that there was no money coming in, and they knew there was no money coming to them, that they were going to be able to reimburse the people at the Springs Plaza. And how about the power that they got? Well, apparently it's still under the property owner's name too. That's irresponsible. Irresponsible. And they should not have gotten paid. No, hey, if their whole purpose of showing up for the meetings and all that was the dedication to the community, well, then hats off to them. And maybe that's the position that they're trying to do. Because when we spoke with them, that's what they said. They said, hey, we were not getting paid. What do you was to just not show up and not do our jobs? We were appointed to do a job, so that's why we did it. That's great. If that is the take of them as individuals, then I think that's admirable, for sure. And I don't knock them for that. But when I see the results of what they actually did and what those meetings really looked like and how they were noticed or not, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I mean, it was like they're putting on theater. The Friends of the Arts could have done a better job of making it look like stuff was really happening. And after getting pushed around for years, they finally got to a point where they couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't do nothing anymore. Double negative. Great job, Brad. So then they had to start enforcing some of the provisions that they had. Once they saw that they were on the ropes, then they're like, all right, well, now I got to get on the side of the government because we've been on the side of IPI for so long. We got to do something for the government. And they did. Anyway, putting the CNMI in debt, obligating funds that they knew they had no way of paying to the property owners, just saying that they'll eventually get it. They're forcing the hand of senators and representatives and the governor by leveraging different personal and professional relationships to do this. They're doing to the CNMI government what IPI did to the CNMI government. And you can definitely say it any other way you want, and I just can't agree with you. I can't, you know? Yeah, and Atta says, Manny Salas from last night's game worked harder than those commissioners for his team. He did. Manny Salas, man, he deserves some kind of a house resolution for the amount of work he put in last night. Holy crap, that guy. His arm's about to fall off last night before he got out of there. Peeling says CCC, the Commonwealth Casino Commission, getting paid by the thousands just for chewing gums. Yeah, and that's the thing. Again, you know, like individually, as people and everything, like I like a lot of these guys, right? And respect them. But like, this is just craziness. It's just craziness that they're able to do this. And now, so we paid them the $250,000. All right, begrudgingly. Now they want more. They just got $250. Now they want $291. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? No, you file this under, give them an inch and they take a mile. This can't possibly be allowed to happen, but let's see what happens. Let's see if these guys have that kind of pull. You know, when the CNMI doesn't have that kind of money, they're going to end up paying. Because you know what's going to happen? They're also going to have to bill for that back rent and for that back power for the Springs Plaza. For the storage of all that spot. Oh, no, we don't really have to because we only used it for like a day. You obligated that space and you obligated that billing amount. You're going to have to pay it. The CNMI is going to have to pay it. And it was under their watch. If you give the Commonwealth Casino Commission any money, it shouldn't go to their salaries first. It should go to the rent that they obligated. And that should be subtracted first from that $250,000 that they were given. Because I wonder how much they owe. for that rent for years. I bet they paid about I bet at least they were $3,000 a month for the rental space there. Peeling says the Governor Palacios should just transfer the general funds to the Commonwealth Casino Commission. Tobot says they gave them a ribeye and now they want a lobster thermidor. It is crazy to me. More like audacity than anything else. And that's it. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating to see it. And how they get away with it. Granted, hey, I get it. If they did the work, they should get paid. But the whole funding mechanism for them to get paid was the casino. And they cut everybody else, and they were doing it themselves. And what were they doing? Again, it was theater. It was a sham. There was no money. There was no money promised. They were supposed to get paid by the casino. And so did they even work to try to get that done? Did they work to try and get another funding source? Like, get rid of that casino? Here's a news flash. They were in charge of the economic viability of the casino industry in the CNMI, and under them, they thought that possibly we'll just let them do whatever they need to do and let them run and give them as much leeway as they can and try to make that work. And I think after a while, it's like dealing with a child. You give them all that rope. If you don't discipline them, they're going to end up being bad kids. They're going to end up not being grateful for what they have and what they're and being responsible for what they have. Well, that's it. That's exactly what happened with the IPI when you look at it. You know, like the biggest, one of the biggest ones is like, hey, you got to build this gigantic thing. And then we were going to say, okay, you can actually get credit just by getting Marianas Resort instead of having to build something new. Which also chased out a legacy business that had been here for 40 years that wanted to renew and would still be here today. If they didn't get pushed out by a company that ran over our legislators, ran over our governor's office, ran over everybody through different purchases and investments and land deals and all that other stuff. That's it. Yeah, Michael says casinos are bad news except for the owners. And I'll tell you what, though, Michael, just so it's clear, like I don't disagree with having a casino. I think having a casino is pretty cool. I like having a casino because it's kind of fun. What I don't like about it is the way they took advantage of us here in the CNMI, because they absolutely did. And I'd be open for having another one, as long as, again, we don't just like shine their boots the whole time. Say, whatever you say, we'll do it. You want to change your agreement? Oh, yes. It's not supposed to work that way. They're supposed to. We had regulations and we had regulators, and our regulators were not like Warren G. and Nate Dogg's regulators, because they didn't regulate. You got to be handy with the steel. Earn your keep. They did not earn their keep. And that's what they want the pay for. Hey, I know that's a deep cut. Some of you guys will know. Right? Okay, there we go. That's my Nate Dogg and Warren G. about to regulate update for the casino commissioners. But I mean, that's it. They let them run roughshod, and that's it. So now they're dealing with it, and they're saying, yeah, but can we still get paid at least? Which is funny, because that's what's happening now. But when I listened to them talk with the legal counsel for IPI in Hawaii, they actually used that sentence. Well, can you at least pay us? That was totally what they said. I couldn't believe it. It was so bad. It's fun if you have a strong mind as yourself, but for the most part, it's bad news. Oh, I know. Hey, Mike, I'll tell you what. That's talking about casinos in general, and I'm with you on that. I get it. Casinos aren't necessarily good news. I just view it as another form of entertainment. I know that if I take $100 and exchange it for chips, that I consider that $100 that's gone, that I'll never see again. So if I was like going to like the little $5 blackjack games, like, ooh, you know, paying $5, that's like 20 games, hanging out with my friends too. If I go with a couple of people, we're just gonna hang out and be social. I'm not looking at winning a lot of money or losing a lot of money. But then any money that I ended up that I would win in any of those hands, I just put them in the pocket. So I've like, again, it's like I spent $100, I'm never gonna get it back. And if I do win anything, I put it back. So, you know, if I win $35 back off of that, then great. Are there times that I won more than $100 back? Yes, there are. But again, I considered that as an entertainment expense, not a, ooh, I'm going to make some money because I have a skill at this. No. I mean, if I did, I did. That's just like, no, I know I'm going to sit here, I'm going to have a few beverages with my friends here at this table, and we're going to joke about stuff. Again, not rolling in by myself. It would be like, hey, what are you doing? You want to go try over there? Yeah, let's go do it. One of the fun games that they had was War. That was my most fun game over there. And we had a freaking blast playing it. War. And it was $5. It's basically like whoever's got the high card, you are the dealer. That's it. One card for you, one card for me. You win, $5. If you lose, $5. Great times. Yeah, that's it. Oh, God, we had so much fun playing that stupid game. And again, it's not like you're going out there trying to make $1 million. You're not going in the poker parlor trying to make some money or, you know, whatever it is. I don't think of it as a game of skill. I think it's a game of you losing your money, and you get lucky if you walk out of there with anything coming back. So have we made it pretty clear how we feel about this whole thing? I know how I feel about it. All right. Well, look, it's 8:24. We have some other federal stuff that I want to get to today too. Let me talk about one more thing on the. This is about the story. There's a story in the paper today about a former inmate who's suing corrections officials. This story is crazy. So a lot of this is you got to know people there to know what's going on. Oh my God, you had no. Oh, hold on. I don't want to skip past this. I just saw this in the comments. Doong, I owe Doong a pizza and a large Coke. It's true story. I do. We bet, speaking of casinos, right? Only it wasn't that kind of a bet. About last night's baseball game, actually the series, that he's like, oh, well, I want to bet you on the series. I'm like, all right. He's like, I'll bet on the Pirates. I'm like, oh, the Pirates, they got better pitching probably. All right, I'll do it because I think it'll be fun. Well, ended up losing. So I owe Doong a pizza and a large Coke. We'll figure out how we're going to get that to you, whether I just go and pay for it in advance over there at Godfather's. And I'm getting you Godfather's because it's the best pizza in Saipan. That's the deal. And we'll get you that. Let's figure it out. We'll figure out a day or time, and we'll go and do that. I don't know if you want to do it lunchtime, dinner time, another time. We'll figure that out. But I'm excited about that. Good job. But let's get to this other local story. This one, again, is one of those, you got to know what's going on to talk about it. And this is why I was looking at it. I was looking at it to see if it was a criminal charge, and it's not. This is, she's named in here too, right? Because it's not a criminal charge, so it's not a victim. But it's a civil suit against the Department of Corrections saying they failed to prevent her from being sexually assaulted from a male inmate last year. Now, the real story about this is, as we hear it, is we're hearing that she was actually dating that guy in the jail. All these people are in different positions throughout the jail all over the place. It's not like they are roommates. It's not like they are even in the same block, the same section of the prison or anything. Nope, not happening. somehow there's some kind of corruption going on the sly, where the guy who is allegedly sexually abusing her or sexually assaulting her they were able to be brought to the same place to have that happen. Because they orchestrated that to make that happen. Again, this is not my firsthand knowledge because I don't operate inside there. But I talked to the folks who have some knowledge of how all this stuff happens. And apparently the guy who is allegedly sexually assaulted her was the guy, remember that guy who got busted with the phone in there? The guy who took pictures and posted it to his Facebook from a phone inside the jail saying, "What's up? I'm in block whatever." You. That's the guy that allegedly sexually assaulted. Like, how would they even be possibly in the same place? There's no place where the men and the women interact. They don't have conjugal visits. No, they know each other. They were dating each other. They had this thing set up, and they ended up doing this. So that's the thing. Somehow they did this. They find a way to orchestrate where they get to get together and do that. So now, is there a criminal complaint to this? No. Is there a criminal charge filed in this? No. What is this? This is a civil suit for cash. That's it. That is it. Now, there's going to be a sign. I can't wait to see how this goes. Because, again, it's not a trial. It is not a criminal trial. This is a civil suit. And, unfortunately, the standard to prove this is a lot lower. But I don't know. The way I hear it, I have little faith in this story. It actually makes me happier that we have Commissioner Torres there to root out that kind of corruption inside there. So that's it. That's on that. And I want to get to the federal stuff, but we'll do that when we get back. All right? We will be back. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often. welcome back, Marianas. It is 8:32 in the morning here on Thursday. And, man, I've seen you guys talk a lot about this in the comments about that game last night. Oh, God, it took forever. Oh, my God. We asked them for sure, can you please, pretty please, with sugar on top, put a mercy rule into the finals for the Masters League. It was a 7-inning game, and, it was painful. And we love all those guys. We can share in their excitement and all that stuff. But holy freaking crap. The score was 47-12. The game was over 2 innings before the final pitch. It was not great. All right, well, hey, we are going to talk about this federal thing, but Doong just called. And I don't know what's up with his phone, but it disconnects like after a ring or something. So we're calling him back right now. Doong, hey, I'm calling you back. I don't know what happened. Somehow your calls stop after a ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why we're calling you back.
So what do you think of my prediction with the MVP, though? Was it right?
Oh, I don't remember. Who did you pick for MVP?
I think that's a blonde guy. Robert Arm.
So, yes, but after talking with our chief statistician, Ray Palacios, he said, and this is the AK MVP of the series, by the way, the Atkins Kroll Player of the Series, Pete Tomacani. Pete Tomacani, although he had a rough fielding night last night, right?
Yeah.
For the series, he hit 600. So he went 6-10, got 4 doubles, 10 runs scored, drove in 11 runs, and he also just happened to record the last out. And you could see he stomped on that bag like he was ready. After three balls got past him, two of them were one of them I think maybe he could have got. The second one took an unfortunate bounce, when he was right there on the bag, just squeezed somehow under his mitt. The other one he leapt up for, which if he would have caught, would have been an outstanding play. You can't lay that on him either. And then when it came down to the final one, he stomped on the bag, and that was it. So, so it's not like he had a really bad night. I think he had a couple of unfortunate things that happened, but he finally put it to bed with that last out. But what an offensive series. Again, this is in 2 games. He went 6 for 10, 4 doubles. He's crossed the plate 10 times on his own, and he drove in 11 runs. Pete Tomacani, your MVP of the finals.
Oh, man. So I hope AK's going to hook him up with a solid deal, man.
I hope so, too. Well, he's the MVP, but you're the MVP pizza. You're going to...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, bro. Man, that was a nice game, man. I was watching, but then I had to leave because my son was crying. So I had to finish it online.
Your son was crying because he doesn't like seeing that kind of physical abuse of one team against another. It was hard to watch after a while.
Yeah, man. But, hey, next year again, made a good team win again,
Well, you're right. And not only a good team, they're a great team with a lot of great guys. And you could say the last part about just about every team because it's a lot of great guys out there. Some great players, but just good people and everything. So it's nice to see them out there doing it. But last night, man, I'm telling you, they might have squeezed a few of the last remaining drops of baseball out of me watching for those last 2 innings.
The only problem, Brad, I would say about Saipan baseball, not only for Manoncus, but even for Open League. Let me just share a story with you.
All right.
The only problem that we have nowadays, we have so many players out here, so many teams that are willing to join. But the only problem that we're facing, and this is the reason why, Brad, that I'm running in 2026, is sponsorship. Sponsorship is the biggest problem we have. If I would do a challenge, Brad, honestly, I would challenge every company on Saipan, Joten, World Resort, you name all the companies, right? To sponsor at least one team in every village, and you see the outcome in our baseball field. Sponsorship is a hard one, but especially for new ones coming up. You know, it's going to be hard for them. But like, let's say, for example, the Pirates, hey, they're defending champ. They won again. I'm going to sponsor you.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say you go to Foremost and say, hey, can you sponsor my team for baseball? You know, so and so. They will give you a hard time.
You know,
that's the reason why.
That's the
reason why I'm running in 2026 is to help our mononcles and our youth out in the community play the sport they love to play with no challenges behind them.
Well, that's great. I love it. You know what I think would really help, though, with that endeavor is if the league gets together and says, hey, and they start approaching some of these teams, or not just the teams, with the teams, to go to these different sponsors to be potentials, whatever. Say, hey, I've got 8 teams who want to play. We're going to approach 8 different sponsors. So they sponsor the league, but they to help pay for that team, and it also goes to help pay for the league itself. And so, and so they make that push as a league itself, like a nonprofit. So that way it's a real nonprofit that they're donating to. And then the league is going to pay for that stuff for those teams. So the league actually helps with that. So you get a league sponsor. When you're a sponsor of a league, that's a big win, right?
So you're right. This is the reason why I what do you call this? Wanted to bring that up with you. That's the only challenge we have. Even Little League, but imagine our youngsters. You know, our youngsters, they want to go out and play in the field, but the only problem they're facing again is sponsorship. But you're right about it. If we take our baseball and turn it into a nonprofit, there's grants for it, but there's so many grants sitting around. Even to fix a baseball field, we could get a grant, but the reason why they can't do it, because we're not a nonprofit at the moment. And if we turn a nonprofit, I bet you shit ton of load of grants will come in and help our baseball field.
Yep, and you need to get that kind of an organization moving in that direction. And by the way, the Saipan Baseball League, those guys are working hard. I mean, to make that stuff. They got people who volunteer too, but with as much work that they put in, it's an all-year job. Like, those guys need a little bit of a break too. There's only like a month or a month and a half off between the next games, but it's not like those guys aren't doing anything for a month and a half. You know, they're still coordinating the meetings, making sure they get the captains together, managers meetings, and line up the schedule. They got to do all that stuff. So, like, they need a break, man, and they need some other folks to help out. So that's why it's important for them to have a very good organization where people can really focus on that. So, and then again, you approach the sponsors from a bigger side. I mean, look at you. All you have to do is look at other successful organizations to see why it works the way they do it. Baseball's so successful here and so popular. There's no reason why it shouldn't be the best.
That's why they need you. That's why they need you next year to make it happen. They need you back. And if you need help, I'm right behind you. But, you know, I hope that these people for the baseball listening to your show this morning, the only concern, and I hope that they do something, is send the Pirates or send any other new champs off island to Guam and challenge them. Challenge them. Put us in the map again. It's been a long while since the Commonwealth is stuck on that map, if you know what I mean. You know?
So, great idea. Here's what I'd do. One, I wouldn't want to send the Masters necessarily, but I would want to send a younger team. I'd send the Masters, or I would use the Masters League to pay for it and be great, but I would want to get some of the money that goes into the Masters League to put toward the youth program, right? It's like the guys who are still playing, supporting, even if they don't go out there coaching. A lot of them do, though. But that's one way they can help foster the development of the program. But what I would want to do, if I was going to send anybody, the Little League and Saipan Baseball League aren't together yet, right? So when they figure that out, I would do something along those lines. But the first one I would do is whoever wins the Open League, right? The Saipan Baseball League, whoever wins that, I would want to coordinate that and make sure the schedules line up with the top league in Guam, and then have a series. And like in soccer, we have the national teams do the Marianas Cup, but this would be not the national team stuff. This is and it's not an all-star team either. It's just the top team. So our top team from our top league against their top team from their top league. And who knows, I don't know if you do a best of three, but maybe like this year it's going to be in Saipan, next year it's going to be in Guam, and maybe it's they're coming over. Maybe they come over for a weekend. It's a 2-game series or a 3-game series where there's only if it's a 3-game series, you lower the number of innings so that the guys can still handle it, right? Like you have a morning game and an evening game, and then the next day you have a morning game, and then it's barbecue time before everybody takes off.
That's the reason, Brad. I would like to say thank you, because you know what I mean. And all I'm going to tell you about is that's the reason why I'm running in 2026.
I love it, man.
It's not about my interest or my family. It's for the people of the Commonwealth.
Dude, you're going to be great. You're going to be great. You're going to be a councilman. We're going to have to call you councilman. We're going to have to amen you now when we see you after all this.
Yeah. But, it was nice talking to you, Brad. And, if you need help for setting up next year's baseball, give me a call.
Shoots. The thing is, they do all the work. I just watch. I just watch and talk about it. So, Shine and all those guys. I know Kyle's a big part of it. And Herm, those guys do a lot of that stuff behind the scenes. You don't get to see them do it, but I know those are the guys.
Okay, but you got it, man.
All right. Hey, thanks for your call. And I saw your comment, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go head out, going into, I'll go down to Godfather's, get that pizza, or get a tab going for you for that pizza.
All right, sir. Just let me know.
Will do.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Take it easy.
All right. Take care. You too.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was Pedro Tandung. He's running for municipal council in 2026. You heard it here in 2025, and you heard it here early. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is funny. Man, I love that we get to talk about baseball and everything. And it is a great highlight. And I could do that kind of stuff all day. Hold on, let me flop over. I got some stuff. Oh, Louisa, that's awesome. Here we go. Oh, man, no kidding. Oh, I'm just seeing this. Oh, man, I love that. Yeah, about sending the kids to Guam. That's great. Hold on, what's another one? All right. You guys are giving me all kinds of comments all over the place. WhatsApp has just got flooded. All right. Well, great. All right. So let's get into the federal thing that I wanted to get into. This is, before Doom called, this is where we were going. And this is a federal thing that was happening that we noticed. That we were talking about this for a while. And let me pull up, because I already got this. I downloaded this thing. And I'll get to the share screen for you so you guys can actually see it. And I still have Landon's information on there. Not anymore. All right, so here it is. This is about the pending reduction in force, the RIF that they call it. This is a document that went out to folks today, well, yesterday, if you want to go by the actual dates and all that stuff. But it's really today based on, we're a day ahead because of the international dateline. But this is coming out from OMB. And this is not local, this is the federal, saying that they're looking at potentially reducing the size of government. That's one of the reasons why they sent out that memo. And this is it here. So this is the guidance on agency RIF, which is reduction in force, and reorganization plans requested by implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency Workforce Optimization Initiative. That's DOGE. All right, so they sent this out and they reached out. Remember, they sent out those emails initially saying, hey, do you want to retire early? Here's the best way to do it. We'll give you 8 months. Go. And then that thing ended on February 12th. And then over the weekend, they sent out an email to all the federal employees from OPM, Office of Personnel Management, saying, hey, tell us what you did in 5 bullet points last week. There you go. And then that didn't get answered. In fact, they talked about that, and I have video queued up for that also. Because they talked about that in the president's first cabinet meeting today, where it's different. He didn't say, hey, if you didn't reply to this, you're done, like kind of what it said in the first Twitter post from Elon Musk. He said that we just want to know if people were still alive. We think there's people on the government rolls that aren't even alive or don't actually go to work. Like, woo, that's pretty crazy. That if that's like a real thing. So they're like, well, I mean, we have to find out if you have a pulse or a heartbeat. So in order to do that, we sent out that email. But now they're looking at this. They're trying to cut down on inefficiency and they're trying to save, when they talked about it today, trying to save $1 trillion from the budget. They said that the interest from our national debt alone is more than the amount that we spend on the Department of Defense every year. So that we need to get this stuff in check. So they need to have a reorganization plan. And they've given them till March 13th to do it. That's the 14th here. That's kind of a big deal. So this is what went out. We're going to post this whole thing on the main page so you guys can look at this individually. But we got this from Document Cloud. It explains everything of how they plan on doing this, what they're looking for people to outline, everything that's actually required, what kind of fat they can trim from the budget all the way through. They have it broken down in phases. And it's not a long thing. It's not like we're taking an analysis and 6 months from now. No, the second phase of it is by March 14th. And here's another one. You got to complete everything by May. Or that one wasn't March, it was April. And now this one says May 14th. And then they've got the other ones for June and July 16th. So they've got this stepped out in monthly plans, and they are cruising. And now some things are going to be excluded. One, not the military, not border security, things like that. And they're not also going to do the president's office. They're not going to do the post office either. It says, finally, agencies or components that provide direct services to citizens, such as Social Security, Medicare, and Veterans Health Care, shall not implement any of these reduction measures until they're fully certified that it's going to have a positive effect. So at least that's good. And then, again, the final timeline right here. So it's a 7-page thing that we're going to pop up right after the show today. And let's go to... pop you back over here because I have them talking about this. Just a second. I'll turn off the music so I can hear this a little bit clearer.
Millions of people due to fentanyl. It comes mostly from
that's
China.
About
but it comes
China
from Mexico,
relation stuff.
Country because of races.
I gotta go.
Or not to respond.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I guess it was like last week. The president encouraged me.
It's from this morning.
Social, and also by a phone call to be more aggressive. And I was like, okay, yes, sir, Mr. President, we will indeed do that. The president is the commander in chief. I do what the president asks. And I said, can we send out an email to everyone just saying what did you get done last week? And the president said yes, so it did that. We got a partial response. We're going to send another email. But our goal is not to be capricious or unfair. we want to give people every opportunity to send an email, and the email could simply be, what I'm working on is too sensitive or classified to describe. Like literally just, that would be sufficient. I think this is just common sense.
And what is your target number for how many workers, employees you're looking to cut total?
We wish to keep everyone who is doing a job that is essential and doing that job well. But if the job is not essential or they're not doing the job well, they obviously should not be on the public payroll.
I'd like to add, wait a minute, wait. I'd like to add that those million people that haven't responded, though, Elon, they are on the bubble. I wouldn't say that we're thrilled about it. They haven't responded. Now, maybe they don't exist. Maybe we're paying people that don't exist. Don't forget, we just got here. This group just got here. But those people are on the bubble, as they say. Maybe they're going to be gone. Maybe they're not around. Maybe they have other jobs. Maybe they moved and they're not where they're supposed to be. A lot of things could have happened. I wouldn't say that Biden ran a very tight administration. They spent money like nobody's ever spent money before, wasted money. The Green New Scam, all of the different things they spent money on. And you've seen that. You've seen that with some of the things that I read in speeches. I read them and people can't believe when I read them. 20 million here, 30 million here for, a little educational course on something. Circumcision, right? Circumcision. $20 million to inform the people of such and such a country on other things and other things other than that. So, those people are, right now we're trying to find out who those people are that haven't responded. Now, there'll be some agencies, like Marco has people within state that are right now doing very classified, very confidential work, and we understand that. We've talked, and, we're being a little more surgical. And Marco's doing a lot of things himself. And some of the secretaries we're going to be going to them. We're going to be talking about it today. We're going to ask them to do their own Doge. In other words, they'll look in their group and I spoke with Lee Zeldin, and he thinks he's going to be cutting 65% or so of the people from environmental. And we're going to speed up the process too at the same time. You had a lot of people that weren't doing their job. They were just obstructionists, and a lot of people that didn't exist, I guess, Lee, too. You found a lot of empty spots that the people weren't there. They didn't exist. I think education is going to be one of those. You go around Washington, you see all these buildings for the Department of Education. We want to move education back to the states where it belongs. Iowa should have education. Indiana should run their own education. You're going to see education go way up. Right now, we're ranked at the very bottom of the list, but we're at the top of the list in one thing, the cost per pupil. We spend more money per pupil than any other country in the world. And yet it's Denmark and Norway, Sweden, and I hate to say this, and we're going to get along very well with China, but it's a competitor. They're at the top of the list. They're among the top 10 usually, and they're a very big country, so we can't use that as an excuse, right? Because we're a very big country too, but we were ranked last time under Biden. We were ranked 40 out of 40. They do the 40 certain nations that they've done for a long time. It seems to be 40 for whatever reason. And we were ranked number 40. A year ago we were 38, then we were 39. We hit 40. And so we're last in that, and we're first in cost per pupil. So I would say that's unacceptable. Lawrence, you have something? Go ahead.
Mr. President, I know you like competition, and I know it's early, so which department are you most impressed with? And then to Mr. That's the first one. Which department have you received the most resistance from?
Well, I think both of those questions are a little bit, well, you're a pretty controversial guy. Look, it's very early. Right now, I think I'm impressed with everybody, so far everybody. If I wasn't in the first month, and some of them just got here, they just got approved 2 days ago, right? But I think I'm very impressed with everybody. So far, I'm very happy with all of the choices. I think that Elon has done incredibly with some groups, and some groups are much easier than others. It is true. State is a, very difficult situation. We're right now negotiating very successfully, I think, with Russia and with Ukraine, and We have a lot of countries involved, and we have to be a little bit careful what we do and who we're terminating. But Marco is doing that I think he's going to be very precise. It's going to be, we're cutting down government. We're cutting down the size of government. We have to. We're bloated. We're sloppy. We have a lot of people that aren't doing their job. We have a lot of people that don't exist. You look at Social Security as an example. I mean, you have so many people in Social Security where, if you believe it, they're 200 years old. And what we're doing is finding out are checks going out for that, and is somebody cashing those checks who's maybe 35 years old, okay? So there's a lot of dishonesty, there's a lot of fraud. But I think at this moment, I'll take Elon off the spot. I think that he's impressed. He said it very well, better than I can say it, that he's impressed with the people in this room, very impressed. And I am too, and it's too early to say, but I think everybody's on board. They all know. We want to balance a budget. We want to have a balanced budget within a reasonably short period of time, meaning maybe by next year or the year after, but maybe even sooner than that.
Mr. President, your number one issue was the border. We just got new information that they're doxing our federal agents. They're putting their personal information out there, these activists, and they're disrupting the operation. So you got Trinidad Aga running off.
Well, we have activists, that's true. And
so
a lot of
what
those,
are we going to do about the activists?
yeah, a lot of those activists are acting illegally, and we'll give that to our Attorney General, and she'll take a look at that very strongly. But we also having tremendous support from Border Patrol, from ICE. The ICE agents have been unbelievable. Border Patrol, their leadership at Border Patrol has been incredible, and they're working very well. And as you know, and I saw you reporting it this morning, actually, we set records on the least number of illegal aliens coming in, migrants coming into our country that we've had in more than 50 years. And we did this all within a period of weeks because we took over a mess. The world was pouring in. And remember, they were coming in from jails and prisons and mental institutions and insane asylums, and they were gang members and drug dealers. Anybody wanted to come in, they came. And from not just South America, from all over the world. So it's amazing what they've done. And Christie and Tom Holman, the job they've done has been absolutely amazing. We set records for and we want people to come into our country, by the way, but they want to come in, they have to come in legally. I want that to be really understood. We want people in our country, but they have to come in legally.
Can I follow on that, Mr. President, about the Trump gold card idea?
Yeah.
That you unveiled
Oh, yeah, this is the last
like
one
it?
that we're going to move on.
I await more information, but the question is, does this reflect a view on your part that the American immigration system has never been properly monetized as you feel it should be?
Well, not so much monetized. It hasn't been properly run. I get calls from, as an example, companies where they want to hire the #1 student at a school. A person comes from India, China, Japan, lots of different places, and they go to Harvard, the Wharton School of Finance.
All right, so he's talking about now getting into the different parts of it. Oh my God, has this been on? Have I had it the other way? Was it like this the whole time that I was watching? All right, anyway. So we're going to go back to this real quick. This is the part about the gold card program where if you invest $5 million, you can get yourself a gold card. And they were talking about, well, if I get 10 million people, that becomes $10 trillion, and we just wiped out the national debt and all this other stuff. He's like, hey, maybe we won't get that many. Maybe we will. I think it's going to be big. So we'll see how that turns out. But the main thing that we were talking about was at the beginning about the reduction in force for the federal government. And, I don't know how you take, anyone could take issue with at least one of the statements in there. He's like, hey, we're bloated and, we're wasteful and we need to trim the fat. He wasn't just talking about my waistline, but he was talking about like the federal government. And, that similar can be said right here with the CNMI, that the government's bloated and needs to be reduced. And they're doing something about it. Now, a lot of the politics about it and the approach might not be great. And their communication isn't great. But, they're doing something as opposed to just talking about it and lamenting about it, right? How many times do we hear about something, right? So at least they're doing something. So I like it. At least they're going after it and getting some stuff done, addressing some of the issues. So not a bad thing. I like that they're actually going after some of that stuff. Anyhow, That's what I got for you today, guys. You know what? I do have the latest should be out. Let's just refresh it just so I can be sure. Oh, wow, they didn't do it again. We don't have that latest update because they didn't pop one out at the top of the hour. So it looks like it will be another hour away. I want to say thanks to you guys for tuning in today because, without you guys, that'd be pretty boring. This would be pretty boring. All right, so if you guys have not already subscribed to the page, please do. That's the main thing. Subscribe to our YouTube, which is NMI News 670. Follow us right here on NMI News Service on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram as well. All right, guys, we'll be back again tonight where we've got SIP Happens with the Marianas Business Network. That'll be on tonight, 6 o'clock. And boy, that's going to be a lot of fun. If you watched last time, you know that it was fun. So it'll be fun again tonight. We're going to have some food. We're going to have some drinks. And you're going to watch some people talk more and more loosely the longer that you're on. We'll be back again tomorrow as well for Good Morning Mariana. So thanks for tuning in. And again, follow us right here, NMI News Service.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawamian greetings. To Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news. From a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Mariana.